Welcome to this week's edition of Basagan ng Trip. I'm Leloy Claudio. I teach history and literature at De La Salle University. As always, kung meron kayong komento, pwede nyo akong i-tweet at Leloy Claudio. Yun nga lang, as I mentioned in the last episode, I'm on a social media detox. So maybe 2 more weeks or 1 more week bago ako makapag-reply sa mga queries nyo. Now, alam ko marami sa aking mga viewers ay mga estudyante. At marami sa inyo, depending on where you are sa inyong school calendar, depende sa nature ng school year nyo, you might be either finishing your thesis, starting your thesis, or thinking about your thesis. And I've supervised a lot of theses over the years. I've supervised undergraduate thesis, I've supervised MA thesis, I've also supervised PhD thesis. And for me, a good thesis, how to ace a thesis, can be summarized in 5 points. And I'm going to share you yung 5 tips that I give to all my thesis students para mapadali ang mga buhay nyo. Number 1, start early. Now, here's the unfortunate thing about the Philippine academic calendar. Napakaliit usually ng inilalaan na oras ng mga universidad at kolehiyo para sa thesis. At minsan, kahit matagal yung oras na inilalaan para sa thesis, ang hirap gawin itong thesis na to dahil kasabay nito maraming mga other major subjects or mga core subjects. So, this is very different from, let's say, yung in Australia. Pag nag-thesis ang isang estudyante sa Australia, they usually have 1 year, and then mga 2 or 3 courses lang ang kinukuha mo dun sa taon na yon. So, napakadali. Pwede mo talagang tutukan yung thesis mo. Now, the unfortunate fact of the matter is, mahirap mag-thesis sa Pilipinas. So, you have to strategize for it. You have to plan for your thesis early on. So, first sem pa lang na may thesis ka, dapat nagsusulat ka na. Even before you actually do your thesis, you have to be reading up on your topic so that when you start doing your thesis, pag pinagawa ka ng review of related literature ng advisor mo, tuloy-tuloy ka na. No cramming. You cannot afford to cram the thesis dahil the next thing you know, deadline na, 2 linggo na lang ang natitira at sinusulat mo pa yung buong thesis mo, yari ka. Yung second advice ko is attitudinal. Treat it like a requirement and not a work of art. What's the difference? Kung work of art yon, yung thesis mo ay pag-externalize ng iyong soul, pag-externalize ng iyong puso. So, kailangan every single detail is authentic to your experience as a human person. So, ang nangyayari dyan, if you treat it like a work of art, hindi ka matatapos thinking about what topic you want to write about. Hindi ka matatapos writing particular chapters because you're so persnickety about what it means to you and its contribution to the world. Think about it as a requirement. The thesis is like a long test. The thesis is like a final paper. You just have to get it done. And how do you get things done? Well, number 1, you don't cram, and then you find ways to finish it as economically as possible. There are going to be many other opportunities to express yourself. Okay? If you're going to become an academic in the future, write academic work that expresses yourself. If you're going to become an artist in the future, make artistic work that expresses yourself. The thesis is not for self-expression. The thesis is to get to the finish line. Just get to the finish line. Number 3, be specific when it comes to your topic. I don't care what discipline you're coming from. The major problem, and this is especially the case for undergraduate students, is they try to bite off more than they can chew. So a political science student might go, I want to talk about vote buying in the Philippines. Ang sagot ko dyan, no, don't talk about vote buying in the Philippines. Talk about vote buying in a specific city in the Philippines, in a specific barangay in the Philippines. A literature major might go, I want to talk about the literary theory of Jose Rizal in both the Nolimitangere and El Filibusterismo. No, I'm going to say, focus on a particular character. Why don't you focus on Ibarra? Why don't you focus on Maria Clara? And then just talk about that person. Or better yet, focus on a very specific question. Like, for example, did Padre Damaso rape Pia Alba? Or something like that. Or, is Elias the real protagonist of Nolimitangere? If it's a very specific question like that, mas madali siyang sagutin. And the advantage of being specific is that you get to know everything that needs to be known about the topic. So that when you defend your thesis, hindi ka caught off guard. Dahil kung ano man ang itanong ng iyong panel, alam mo dahil rinistrict mo yung scope, mas dumadali ang buhay mo. And again, napakaikli ng oras mo para gawin itong thesis na to. So kung masyado kang ambisyoso or ambisyosa, mahirapan ka in the long run. Number 4, listen to your advisor. This has to do again with yung idea na the thesis is a requirement and not a work of art. If it's a work of art, okay, it's very individual. It has to reflect who you are. Pero ito requirement to eh. And it is a requirement you do with an advisor. At usually yung advisor, alam niya kung paano pumasa ng thesis. Lalo na kung matagal na nag-a-advise yung advisor mo. Kung if this person has advised 20 students, 50 students, just listen to this person. This person knows how to get you to the finish line. So marami akong kilala mga thesis students na ikipag-away pa sa akin or sa kanilang advisor, ayaw makinig sa simula, and then, towards the end, pag 2 weeks na lang yung natitira, wala na silang choice, makikinig sila bigla sa amin dahil desperado na sila. Don't let it get to that point. Sa simula pa lang, makinig na kayo sa amin, and most of us actually, we really care about you naman. So let us hold your hand through the process and keep in touch with us. That's the way you get to the finish line. Number 5, nail the presentation. So lahat ng thesis natin ngayon, merong oral presentation, may oral component. And I'm not going to be able to talk about the basics of public speaking in this episode. Maybe I'll do another episode on public speaking, but there are a couple of basics of public speaking that you should remember. Number 1, outline whatever you say. Tell them what you're going to say, and then once you've said it, tell them that you said it para sobrang linaw. Pangalawa, and this is specific to thesis presentations with PowerPoint, don't cram all of the information into the PowerPoint na parang binabasa mo lang yung nasa screen, right? Your panel wants to see that you know the topic and that you can speak about it even if the PowerPoint just contains a couple of bullet points. So do that. Don't rely on your PowerPoint. Know your thesis well enough so that you can present it. And then a final but minor point, be appropriate in the thesis defense. And what I mean by that is, kung magpapatawa ka, not too much because it's a formal setting. Although humor is always good, right? Kung magbibihis ka, be appropriate. If they say mag-long sleeves ka, mag-long sleeves ka. If they say wear business formal, wear business formal. And by the way, pet peeve lang, minor issue. Akala na maraming estudyante dyan that business formal is black. Hindi po black suit ang business formal. Ang black suit po ay para sa libing. Okay? So kung business formal, please wear dark blue or charcoal gray, dark gray. Maliit lang yung diferensya between charcoal gray and black, but it makes a difference. That's because you have everything in the context of a thesis presentation has to be appropriate. So if there's one thing that summarizes all this advice that I'm giving you, it's this. Find the most economic way to the finish line para hindi ka ma-stress, okay? Don't overcomplicate this process. It's difficult, but it's very, very doable. Again, if you have any comments, tweet me at Leloy Claudio, and I'm happy to give you even more thesis advice. Maraming salamat.